Greetings and welcome back one and all to Castlegoat and to Gnomoria version 0.9.9. Yes, that's right, we're on a higher version and Gnomoria is going to be a hive of activity, or rather Castlegoat is going to be a hive of activity whilst we get something sorted. As you can see, we had a bit of a altercation with the denizens of the Frayed Land. It didn't turn out so well for them. All of this blood is theirs. But that has highlighted a few interesting things that happened due to the recent patch. I will go over what they were. Unfortunately, I didn't think to start recording in time to actually show you firsthand. But yes, the new version has added a number of very, very interesting things. First and foremost, then, we'll cover the fixes. Goblin attack strength is now determined when they leave their kingdom, rather than when they arrive at yours. So that will help in situations where they arrive to your place after a sudden spike in your kingdom worth, perhaps after trading. Also, goblins no longer spawn in peaceful mode. I can only imagine that is to great rejoicing of all of those who play in peaceful mode. And there are some bugs that have been fixed with the designation for job cancellations and for deconstruction orders moving around after having been placed. Now, the big thing here is that with goblins, raiders now have a chance of dodging self-powered traps. They will still trigger pressure plates and things like that, but self-powered traps, so the blade traps and the spike traps, they can actually dodge those. They've got a fairly good chance of avoiding them. Now, this ended up happening quite a lot to the raiders. Most of them got through without the usual of one of them dying and several of them missing limbs. Instead, several of the soldiers which engaged us were missing limbs. Now, that is a very, very interesting change, and one I think is actually for the better. So the raiders are now, quite nimble, quite spry, considering they're not wearing any armor, so they can leap out of the way. And so the brunt of the damage from self-powered traps lands on the people in armor, and we actually saw quite a lot of lost limbs from the soldiers in iron armor, which was quite interesting. Goblin raiders will also now continue thieving until they're satisfied. Previously, they'd just steal any old crap they could find and be quite happy with that and walk off. Now, they continue thieving until they feel that they've gotten their time's worth. And the amount that they would require to be satisfied goes up with your kingdom worth. So, obviously, if they come into a very affluent kingdom, their expectations of the haul they're going to make is going to be similarly quite high. There has also been a reduction in friendly kingdoms found as your kingdom worth increases. As we've seen, I've got quite a few friendly kingdoms at the moment. There are new tunnel sprites as well, and you can also turn off tunnelers in the advanced setup options at the start of the game. So for those people who really, really didn't like tunnelers because they messed with their strategy of having only of basically walling off their kingdom entirely and being able to pick and choose when they went out to fight, you can now turn that off. Which is fine if that's the way you want to play. I'm not quite sure why so many people get up in arms at the idea of someone making a single player game easier for themselves. It's not affecting you if they play the game easier. It really isn't. So if that's the way that you will have fun playing this game, then more power to you. Now, there are a few big changes that will affect the micromanagement involved in building. Firstly, as you can see here, this wall has no floor above it. Now, if I wanted to build a wall on here normally, I would have to have built a floor first. Specifically, I would have to build a floor. Now, when you build a wall, let me just demonstrate that. It'll just be for demonstration purposes here. If I go to wall, I want to make a soil wall, and I tell them, make a soil wall from here all along there. It will also queue in the floors. Now, if I cancel this, will it cancel the floors too? Yes, it will. Fantastic. And you noticed it queued up the floors of the same material. Let's test that out with a block wall. Any block will do at the moment. And we do this. Is that, yeah, block floors as well. Now, that is going to be a massive time saver. Next, now this one I'm particularly interested in. Let's have a look. There's a place over here that I would actually like to get up onto the walls. So this is a good place to test it. Let's go to terrain. We can now build scaffolding out of planks. Now, if I place one there, it should get built fairly quickly, and that will allow them to get up on top. But scaffolding has two very important attributes that I think we're all going to be very happy with. Firstly, I can stack them directly on top of each other. Now, you can't do that with stairs. You have to like make a circular staircase sort of deal with that. But you can just stack scaffolding up, and that will work fine. However, now this is the really nice thing. I'm going to let them build up those other parts there, and then I'll come back to show you what the really nice thing about that is. But now, this is probably the bigger of the changes, and I think this is going to affect Castlegoat specifically, especially with what I was doing over here where I was cycling the militia squad that was training. Oh, before I get to that, you may notice that most of my militia, in fact everyone, should be not wearing any armor or anything like that, and in fact I've told them to clean this up. The reason why I've done that is I noticed that some of the militia captains had fairly good two-headed ogre leather armor. They had some of the really nice bronze weapons, so I've told all of my militia to wear the civilian uniform for now, and that has resulted in them all stripping of all of their good armor, all of their good weapons, and as a result my standing army has been able to go and have their choice of items. This now means that Undead Llama actually has, let me select your Undead Llama, a full equipment set, or should do. Except for the head, obviously, but he is now wearing two-headed ogre or ogre leather everything. Has a bronze hammer, a bronze hand axe. Nothing legendary there. Let's check out Troll of Reason. Troll of Reason, again, two-headed ogre or ogre everything. And the Leader of Smoke, the legendary bronze shield, and the hand axe of spoons, the legendary bronze hand axe. And now let's check on Elzendorf. Elzendorf has, again, two-headed ogre and ogre leather everything, the Curse Hawk, a bronze shield, and the Dumped Voider, the legendary bronze hand axe. Very interesting indeed. Very interesting. Now, this is the big change. I'm going to allow everyone to clean all of this stuff up and put it away first before I actually let them go and re-equip themselves. At this point, though, I think the militia will be able to just wear what they want. But I'm going to tell the militia commanders first to put on their uniform so that they get first choice again, so that they've got the best equipment. And then I will tell the regular militia to go and equip. Now, this is the part I want to really show you. This is true for guard stations, training grounds, and patrol routes, which I don't have at the moment. But training grounds, shifts. This is an incredible enhancement to the game, and has been something that effectively I've been trying to simulate with cycling which militia was training in this training grounds. We now have shifts, 3 shifts. We've got 6 a.m. till 2 p.m., 2 p.m. till 10 p.m. and then 10 p.m. till 6 p.m. Now, you can have someone training on all of these times. You don't have to have a gap, but I've given the Poisonous Ancients a gap between 2 and 10 p.m. because typically mounts will only attack in the morning, and as far as I've seen, the goblins tend not to attack right in the middle of the day. It's usually at night that they show up, or early morning. That seems to be the sort of cycle that they're on. I really will need to have a look at that, though. If I do find that they are attacking between the hours of 2 to 10, then I will switch when the Poisonous Ancients get their downtime. But I've given both squads some downtime. At different times, obviously. The Blackened ones get to have their downtime between 10 and 6 in the morning. Now, that will help a squad synchronize their sleeping schedules. And also, it'll let them get out there, do some horticulture if there's any horticulture to do, and generally help around the fort a little bit. Just some downtime, you can go and eat and stuff, and then when they return to the training, hopefully they will have no need to walk away. But that does mean that I'm going to be able to cycle our militia. Now, I've tested this a little bit beforehand, with having both of these training grounds have 1 squad each. However, I found that as a result, although we've got 6 militia squads that can be training, taking 2 full squads of gnomes at any one particular time out of actual working, even though I can balance it so no specific role is ever left without at least 1 person doing it, yeah, really drastically slowed everything down. So I'm going to stick with having 1 group training. But basically, seasonally, I'll switch which 3 groups are using the training grounds. One season, it'll be the Watch Fortifications, the Acing Shelters of Camp, and the Hobbling Oars of Leek. The other season, it'll be the Gory Knitters, the Boned Knifer of Martyr, and the Cloaked Baths. And they'll alternate between seasons. And it'll stick us to having only one group of 5 or less in the case of the Hobbling Oars of Leek. One group of militia training at any one time, so our workforce isn't going to be that badly affected. Have you cleaned all this up? No, you haven't. My goodness. Well, I suppose I could just have you go and equip now. Yes, okay. Let's go ahead and tell the militia commander, the militia captain, that you may equip the militia captain uniform. Now, just to remind you, the militia captain uniform is all leather, no helm, a hammer, and a stone hand axe. That will eventually become a bronze hand axe once we've got enough bronze hand axes to hand out. So once they've gone and equipped themselves, I will then give the regular militia the order to equip themselves, and we should see a bunch of very well equipped militia all standing ready. Now I need to clean... Oh, you've already cleaned it up a little bit. Well done. But I would like that cleaned up as a priority because it is full. Also there. There we go. And you know what, let's clean up the cookery areas as well. Now then, let's have a look around. I do want to clean up more of this. Oh, fantastic, the grass is grown. I actually had to tell them to specifically grow out the grass, unfortunately, there. For some reason, it just didn't want to work, so... that is working now, at least. Let's go ahead and finish off the fencing. So we want furniture, rail fence. I believe it was... there are sometimes bugs with the way that grass propagates, and if you do think that you've got one, the easiest way to fix it is just to go ahead and tell the grass to... oh, let's put that one there. Oh, that one's only got one. Oh, okay, that one's only got one as well. We'll do that here as well then. But all you need to do is replace the floor with dirt, the tiles that aren't getting the grass propagated to them, and hopefully it will continue to grow. But do make sure you're not in winter, like I didn't for a while, and be wondering, why on earth isn't the grass growing? Because grass doesn't grow in winter, derp. Right, we'll also replace the floor with decorative... actually, we won't have decorative. We'll have engraved granite, I think. Yeah, we'll have an engraved granite floor at the entry points to these fields. There we go. I would love a little wooden fenced gate system. But now, here's the really nice thing about the scaffold. Now, I'm going to leave the bottom layer because I want it there. But if we were to deconstruct this layer of the scaffold... now, I believe this takes time based on how many layers there are in the scaffold. But you should see... oh, you've decided not to. Really? Really? Is that going to annoy everyone now? I can change it if it annoys you. No? Okay. It looks like they may actually need to take it down from the bottom. But we'll do that for the demonstration then. Let's deconstruct on the bottom tile. There we go. Now, will they get this done? They probably will, but I'll speed up time just to make it happen a little faster. There we go. Now, I believe this takes time multiplied by the number of layers, and there are 4 layers there. But as you saw, taking down the bottom part of the scaffolding resulted in the whole structure coming down, the whole stack. And you do get the amount of planks back that you use. So that will make it really, really easy to reach high up areas, and that is fantastic. I've been hoping for something like that, like a rope ladder or something that could just increase the speed so you didn't have to actually make some long pyramid-like ramp going around a tall structure or spiral staircase or anything like that. But that is fantastic. On that note, however, let us see. Have our militia captains been given enough time? I imagine they have. So let's go ahead and get them the regular militia positions re-equipped. So we want you in, let's say, goblin slaying for now. And there we go. Now I'm going to set this up with it was the acing shelters of camp were on this one. So we're going to have watch fortifications, acing shelters of camp, and who was it? The hobbling oars of lake. Now the result of this is that each one is only going to get 1/3 of the training in a season that they would have otherwise. But it will keep everything cycling through. So you're going to have... You're not really going to make it any faster than you would have if you just had one team working on it each season. Over 3 seasons, those 3 groups would have reached the same sort of training level as they will in 3 seasons currently, but it'll spread it out a little bit better, which I think is generally going to be a bit of a better option. If I really wanted to, I could set this up so that when the watch fortifications weren't training, say the acing shelters camp were there, then it would be the watch fortifications here, and just move it around like that. But again, it would still result in 2 groups being taken out of the workforce for the duration of that season. It really, really does slow everything down. So we're going to be avoiding that. But the musical tooth merchant just arrived, so I found... Ooh, we've got some ments. Good timing, ments. Let's quickly get this bell rung. Well, since you're here, well, you may as well stick around for the fight, I suppose. Right, will you blackened ones please stop training so you can ring that bell? No? Yes? No? No? Oh, that's not so good. I think you should flee. Don't go out there, me. I think that's me. Yes, me. Don't go. No, that's correct, me. You don't want to be up there. Balls. This is not so good. Everyone is piling in. Thankfully, I think the poisonous ancients managed to lure everyone into attacking them. That is very, very good. Poisonous ancients, blackened ones, please get into this fight. Right, I'm going to have to ring the alarm bell up here. No one is properly equipped. This is not so good. Sound the alarm, please. Right. Okay. Let us hope that we can... Me? Oh, no, it's Revocane. Revocane, you crazy fool. You're not even equipped. What are you doing? Flee, Revocane. This isn't a fight that you can win. Someone please ring the bell up there. Please, someone ring the bell. Okay, the alarm has been sounded. We need everyone who can to get down here and help. Because otherwise, we're going to see people die. And that would be terrible because I was explaining all awesome stuff that is now in the game. That would be a horrible way to welcome in this new patch. Right, we've got people who are equipped waiting in. We've also got our melee squad. Good, good, good. This is okay. Though you are actually pushing Lizzie back. That is not okay. How is Lizzie doing? Okay, she's doing okay right now, but how much punishment her armor is going to be able to take, I don't know. Let's have a look at events. Just make sure that no one has died. Oh my god, there are a lot of them here. Alright. We'll see how this goes. But as more and more of our militia show up, this fight tips more and more in our favor. These mans really aren't going to be a force that can take on the full might of Castlegoat. If this was goblins and 2-headed ogres that had managed to get in this close before we'd actually rallied our defenses, then yes, I imagine we would be looking at a couple of deaths, possibly. But I don't think the mants really have the strength to break our armor the way that the goblins do, or specifically the 2-headed ogres. We should be okay at this point, I feel. Let's make sure, though. How many of you are left? In fact, I should be able to just go to military and enemies. There are only 3 mans remain. Yeah, this fight is ours. And I think one of them is even bleeding. There we go. Well done, everyone. That was a bit of a scary fight there for me. Right, can you please sound the all clear? And, yeah. Blackened ones, when you go back to training. Where are you? There we are. Okay. Wow, crisis averted. Well done, everyone. Especially well done, Revocane, who was brave enough to just wade into the fight, even though he had no weapons and no armor. Whilst on one hand, I'm very, very not okay with you doing that in the future, I do acknowledge that it was very brave of you to do. Well done, you crazy, crazy man. Right, let's get the basalt doors rebuilt as well. And then I'm going to pause this recording, and I shall welcome you back when we have got a few things in order. And obviously our militia should be training now. Fantastic. And yeah, so we're going to pass a little bit of time. I'm probably going to have a look at what we can trade with the musical tooth. And when you return, we'll get the trading out of the way. So see you soon. And welcome back. We have a new merchant here as well. We have a merchant, I believe, from the Rainy Gear. So we're going to get the trading done with the musical tooth first, because I'm not going to know exactly what I've got left to trade with until I've concluded this trading. Now, we are going to trade 2,102's worth of goods for 2,097's worth of ore and coal. I think that's a fairly good trade. We've got a lot of iron ore there, a decent amount of silver ore. That'll make quite a few more statues for the Great Hall, which hopefully will bring us some nomads. Oh my goodness, we are so... It's been so long since we've had any new blood in the fort. It's not good. Now, we are going to probably buy all of these logs. We don't need them. Actually, let's have a look if there's anything... We haven't got as many orange wood. Okay, this is going to be one of the first times I'm not going to buy all of the logs that are available to me. We've got so many that they're actually being stored in the overflow quite actively at the moment. So let's just see what we can do to trade off for that. We've got a lot of eggs. Yeah, sure, we'll sell 63 eggs for 63 orange wood logs. I think that's an okay trade, if you ask me. Now, there we go. All right, that's a successful trading concluded. Let's go ahead and tell them to clean these floors so they can get all of that to where it needs to be. Now, down here, things are going okay at the moment. The smelting is, well, taking up most of our time at the moment. We're not making any bronze bars, and that has stalled the production of weapons. Now, something that is interesting, we've got two groups of people fighting over here. Now, are they all part of the same group? I don't know. Let me find out. Bear with me a moment. An epic sneeze. That was so epic, I might have actually kept it in the recording if I hadn't muted my mic first. Now we've got Tamiz, we've got Alex Slayer, we've got Gandalf, and we've got Sanans. Sanans and Gandalf, I'm fairly sure they're in the Hobbling Ores of Leek. Why are they still here? Oh, it's possible that they may have been in the process of sparring when the changeover happened. As far... Ooh, but where did you pass out? Did you pass out? Okay, that's not too bad then. Wolf Dude passes out. Where's Wolf Dude? Why are you guys passing out? Is there something bad happening that I should be aware of? No? Okay. I don't like it when people just randomly pass out. There are beds, but perhaps the beds are just not enough of them at the moment. But I would have thought there would be. That does highlight that we do need a lot more bedrooms made. Perhaps I should expand these, but at the same time, I would actually really like to expand these into 3x3s. But perhaps for the time being, it would be better to have some bedrooms rather than large bedrooms. And well, we could do that. We've got enough, and perhaps it is time that we actually try to get more of our gnomes into bedrooms. So, okay, we're going to mine out the necessary areas. So we're going to need this to be 5x4. Well, actually, we'll just mirror it. There we go. And we'll do the same over the side. We're going to lose the art room. I don't think we need it anymore. I'm familiar enough with these things, and besides, I would kind of like to make a specific art room somewhere for all of that, and actually have a room that's decorated by all the different blocks, and then we'll be able to really see what we're doing. Now, we're also going to need a 2-wide corridor, so we're going to need to pull this back all the way as well. And then we'll tile this in marble down there. I think that will look quite nice, honestly. Oh, actually, we're not going to need it to be that long, as it happens, because this wall will be shared, so we don't actually need it to be that long. So we'll pull this back one. We will actually still need to mine that, though, because that'll be where part of the wall is going to go. But, yeah, that was good that I noticed that before I planned everything out. Right. Okay, so we're going to be starting to work on some new rooms. I think, as much as I want to continue work on this, if we've got people just passing out, it is high time that everyone have a room, even if it isn't a very well decorated, very, an expansive room. It will be a room with a bed, and people will get much better sleep as a result of that. I mean, given that they are sleeping anyway, we may as well make that sleep actually count for something. Because right now, they don't get any benefit from the quality of the bed or the quality of the room. At least up here, with just a couple of statues and some decent beds, they will get quite a large amount of rest as a result of that. So I think this will be a good idea. Plus, we can repurpose all of these blocks. But that is it for this episode. My God, really? How? How are they? What? I don't... There are 6 people sparring. There were 6 people. Magic! I don't know what's happening, but this is awesome. I think there may be bugs. More than likely, there are some bugs and glitches in the system with such a big update to the way things work. So I expect that's going to change. But whilst they're willing to do it, I'm happy to let them train like that. But that is it from me for now. I do hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope you'll be joining us for the next. But until then, and as always, do take care.